All right, class. First off, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. So, today we are going to be looking at how economics and government tie in together. Okay, and I know some students are telling me, hey, Martinez, why are we learning about economics? We're supposed to be learning about government. Well, that's the thing. They do tie it together, and today I'm going to show you how. Okay, so here is your warm-up picture. Okay. Now, the key thing in this picture you have to remember is the difference between a theory and practice. Remember, theory is an idea, a thought. Uh, can this happen if we do this? Will this work if we try this? You know, it's not based on pure facts. It's an idea. Facts might be kind of a helper, but it's not like, oh, this is true because, you know, it's this theory is true. No, it takes evidence and proof. You need facts to make it true. Just because something's a theory doesn't make it true. Right? The first question asks you what is going on in this picture. So look at the how it looks on the left side. Look how it looks on the right side. Um, okay. And the second question asks you what is the major difference between the theory and the practice. So again, what's the difference? And if you're having trouble, look at the money. And then look at the difference between the money between each level. You might notice a difference about the currency. Who's getting dollars, who's getting cents. Okay. So go ahead, answer those two questions. Pause the video if you haven't finished yet. But we're moving on in three, two, one. Okay. So in economics, there's three major types. There's capitalism, communism, socialism. Now, I don't care who you are, things like that. Some people who are on social media, things like that, and on different podcast things, I might tell you, oh no, these two are the same. They're similarities, but they are different. Okay, and people try to convince you otherwise. Okay, and that's what we're talking about. That's what you're here to learn about. How each one is different from one another. How are they somewhat similar? Things like that. Okay. Now, no matter which one you choose, capitalism, socialism, communism, they had to ask themselves three major decisions that the answer for themselves. Number one, what and how much should be produced? Okay, first thing the country has to do is think, well, what do we have? You know, what do we have to produce? Well, some countries they might have gold in their, fields and in their mountains and things like that. Some might have like, hey, we have a really good amount of trees, so we can use trees to make stuff. So that's the thing. They have to find out what they're going to make. And usually it's typically based off their resources. What do they have available to them? And then the thing comes, how much should you make? Okay. Now, if you mine out all the gold in 1 year, you have to think about what about next year? And not only that, think about the price of gold. If there's a ton of gold available, um, what's going to happen to the price of gold that year? You know, gonna go down. So that's something government has to think about. And also, if there's too little, let's say you go, oh, I only have so much, and the price is going to be way high because I have so little. Think about yourself. If you were at a store and you're trying to get a shirt, and they're telling you, oh, it's going to cost $800 because we only have a limited amount of these shirts. What would you do? Would you stick around there, or would you go somewhere else? Okay. The next thing is how goods and services should be produced. Okay. Is it going to be man-made? Is it going to be robotics? How are you going to get this thing made? You know, is it going to be handmade? Is it going to be done by machines? Or is it all going to be computerized and machines and some of that? Um, this is a big one that some people have to think, because a lot of things that are need to be done precisely, chances are you need to go more towards the robotics. If you want artistry and things like that, you may want to go more towards the human side. You know, robots provide no true uh, personal customer service type of thing. A robot can't really smile going, "Welcome to McDonald's." It's gonna look all funky. But a person smiling, you can see if it's genuine or not, things like that. The last one, who gets the goods and services? Who are we gonna sell to? Is it another country, another company, what? Okay. So we're going to be looking at capitalism first. All right. Now, under capitalism, the government assumes that society will best be served by any productive economic activity that free individual choices. Okay. So, in other words, the more choices and come on, like the choices you make will make the society and make economics in that country better. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Under a pure capitalistic country, there are five main characteristics. Number one, private ownership, control of ownership, and economic resources. All those three things are in one thing. In other words, the government wants you to be the private ownership, right? They encourage you to be the owner. Um, but if it's whether it rises or falls, it's up to you, okay? Because you are the owner. Okay, so either you're going to make a profit or you're going to crash and burn. One of the two. Okay. The next one, free enterprise. Basically, that means you can trade and make deals with anyone you want to. Okay. Whether the deals are good or bad or whatever, it's your choice, and you can basically trade with anybody. The next one is competition among businesses. So they want a variety of choices for the people. So, like right now, look at the fast food places. Just think to yourself around your house for maybe like a 2 mile radius, from starting at your house and going 2 miles around. Think of all the places you can eat at your place near you where you are. And if you can't, as there's only like one or two places, think about downtown, the different mall areas. Look how many places there are to eat there, the choices you have. In class, I've asked classes, here's 10 seconds, tell me um, as fast as you can as many fast food places. Most classes get about from anywhere from 8 to 12 in 10 seconds. They can name fast food places. Because again, that's the thing, we have options. The next one, which kind of connects with this one, is freedom of choice. No one is forcing you to buy McDonald's if you don't like it. No one is putting a gun to your head saying, "You take that back. McDonald's fries are better than everyone else's." No one's doing that. No one says you have to eat at this place at this time. The whole Taco Tuesday and stuff like that. If you don't want tacos on Tuesday, don't eat tacos on Tuesday. It's okay. You have that freedom. Okay? The last one is pretty interesting. The possibility of outcome. Meaning, under this type of pure capitalism, no business is safe. You could be on top of the world 1 second and then boom, your business is crashing and burning. The government's not going to come save you. It's going to crash and burn, and it's going to be on you. Okay, so that without that safety net, you the businesses are more enticed to do what they can, be innovative, find new ways to keep afloat, keep business going. Like I told the class here, I basically said if this section was no matter what you do, you're going to get an A plus for the rest of the school year. Would you even come to school? And a lot of students said no. It's like, why? All right, so how about that? So yeah, so if that portion of class, if I told them, hey, no matter what you do, you're going to get an A plus, they're not going to have the incentive to do the work in class. They might not even show up, right? Because they know, well, I'm going to be saved. I got it. Already been told I'm going to be A plus all the way through. So that's the thing with the possibility outcome. If a company knows they're going to be saved, if whether they succeed or fail, they might not have the incentive to, you know, not take so many risks, not do something stupid that might cause the business to collapse, things like that. All right, so your first question is, of the five main characteristics of pure capitalism, which one do you feel is the most important, and why do you believe this? So, if you need like a little refresher to go over that, even though I just said it, you can go back to that part of the video and watch that over again, okay? But just remember the why. Why do you feel this is important? That's the key part. That's where the points come in um, for this lesson. Okay. All right. So now on the worksheet, you should be at question number 7, where it asks you, what does free market mean in your own words? Okay, this other stuff on top is pretty interesting. It is pretty cool, but I'm gonna kind of skip through that to make this video a little bit smaller for you guys. If you want to read it and you want to ask me about it, by all means, come and ask me about it. We'll talk about it. I'll explain it to you. Um, but the thing is, at the very bottom, a free market means that the government puts no limits on the freedom of the buyers and sellers to make economic decisions. Okay? The government puts no limits to the freedom. So a lot of you guys know I love my little pop figures, things like that. Um, the government does not come around and say, hey, you have to buy that. You looked at it, you have to buy it, or you can't have that many, you have to sell, things like that. No, the government doesn't tell me whether I have to buy or sell anything. It's my choice. That's my economic choice based off my own income and if I'm saving and things like that. Okay. So put that in your own words. Okay, for question number 7. Now, luckily for you, question 8 and 9, it tells you um, that the answer is not on the slide. The answer is not on the slide, so you're gonna have to listen. But again, luckily for you, you can always go back and hear it again. Okay. Um, the the question says, how has government encouraged business competition and private property ownership? Well, the government has encouraged business competition by allowing more business to form. And what ways they do that is, one is they give loans to businesses a lot easier than they did before. Okay, before, back in the day, they used to ask for things called collateral, which means you have to have something worth value. So if somebody wanted to start a business, the banks could be like, well, oh, that's cool, we like that idea, but we don't know if it's really profitable, so we're gonna have to ask for $10,000 collateral, $5,000 collateral. Some things that, so if the business does go under, they can keep that collateral, whatever it may be, and then they could sell it and make money off of it. At least get some money off back from the giving you the loan. Um, Nowadays they're a little bit more lenient on that. I mean, some places still ask for collateral, but it's nowhere excessive like it used to be. The next thing they do to encourage business competition is they give tax breaks to businesses. A lot more businesses. Before it would just be the top tier oil industry, energy industry, things like that. But now it's also small businesses gets tax breaks, either local or state. Sometimes even federal level. If you have a business, you can get a tax break. Because one, you employ people, you have a business, and you're making the economy roll. You know, so that's another one. And for private ownership of property, the other one, that one is first time home buyers loans. So if you're buying a home for the first time, the government tends to give you favorable interest rates, which is pretty low. I have no idea what it is right now. I can't remember off the top of my head, um, but they are pretty low because again, they want people to own a home. Because if you own a home, you're gonna buy furniture. You're gonna buy this to make your home the way you want it, and all that stuff you're buying is from stores and places like that. So you're making the economy roll because you're buying things for your home. Okay. Question number 9 says, what does the FDA do? Okay, the FDA, they make sure that the food, drinks, and medicine that are made here in this country are safe. Okay, they make sure that the food, drinks, and medicine made in this country are safe to use. Okay, that's their purpose. Um, Back in the day, as you can see from that top picture, with the meat scandal, because of this guy named Sinclair, basically wrote about how they were making meat, and sometimes they were like rats who fell into the meat grinder and things like that. They would get old meat, like that looked green and gray, and they would chop it up and put it in with the new meat. It was like really disgusting. So that's when the government stepped in because people were like, "Oh my God, this is so nasty. We're eating old meat. We're eating rotten flesh and things like that." So, um, yeah, that caused a problem. So here's your next question. Do you feel confident in the food, drinks, and medicine that come from other countries, such as Mexico, China, Japan, Canada, things like that? Do you feel confident in taking those drinks and medicine and food from those places? You know, Let me know what you think. Um, I've had some students say yes and no. And I feel confident, and some say no, I don't feel confident. So, again, tell me what you think. Okay. Well, we're moving on in three, two, one. All right. So, just like the other slide, the previous couple slides, I'm not going to mention the top part, but again, if you want to talk to me personally about that, no problem. We'll talk about it. But the question asks you, number 11, in your own words, what is a mixed economy? That is that middle paragraph right there. The United States, we have a mixed economy. This means we have a free enterprise combined with and supported by government decisions in the marketplace. Okay? So, yes, we do not have a pure capitalistic country. And anyone who tells you that, they're, they don't know what they're talking about. They're lying. They have no idea what we're talking about. They don't know what capitalism is. We don't have a pure one. We have a mixed economy because sometimes businesses can go under. They can file for Chapter 11 where the government comes steps in. In a pure capitalistic society, they don't do that. The government will be like, "No, you failed. That's on you, buddy. Adios. Say goodbye to your company." You know, the strong survive, the weak die in a capitalistic country. Okay. So again, reread that section, break it down, put it in your own words. Okay, again, do not copy mine because you won't get your points for it, but put in your own words. How would you explain that? So, question number 3, and apparently it's the last one too. What do you think our government's involvement should be when it comes to watching over how U.S. business deals are done and made? So, should the government be really involved in watching like what deals are made between U.S. businesses and other countries, other businesses across the sea? You know, should they be involved? Should they not be involved? Should they be semi-involved? You know, depending on circumstances. What do you think? Okay, you tell me what you believe. Okay, so once you've done this question, and you've written it out, that's it for this class. Okay, for this lesson. All right, so good job. Don't forget when you come in, you can either turn it into me or you can put it in the green container to the side over here. Um, but yeah, so good job. You guys have a good day. You take care and you be safe. All right.